I knew they were here. Now they're in exquisite condition. Let us extract some revenge. Would it be good? Oh, no problem, man. I appreciate just you coming by. What do you mean, what the fuck? Oh, it's just my friends wanted to troll, but, you know, I already told them not to post that shit because I don't want to get into fucking problems, but, you know, they don't listen, so it's just, fuck it, isolate them. I approve? Oh no. Where the fuck is Julius at? Julius, come out to play! Julius, come out and play. Don't you want to play, Julius? Oh, there you are. Hi, Julius! I don't understand. You know the difference in our abilities, so why would you come after us? This has gone beyond ignorance. I'll happily crush your basilic exuberance underfoot. You take us too lightly. We have suffered defeat before, but this time will be different, fool! Well said. Julius, will you leave this to me? Yes, Mom. You have my thanks, now that you know about. A wager, how exciting. Very well, I should play. I like how Assassin is harder in like the mini fights than that he's in actual fucking fight. At least with Castro. I already talked about how Castro is a hard counter for him, but it really is unintentionally hilarious. You stood your ground. See, Julius, they're not the insignificant warriors you think they are. I like how how Shoei is like, hey, this guy's actually mean business. And she's like, we managed to survive. Julius Storm was. This part is actually easier with Caster because you can use Aphotic Cave. You absorb almost all the damage. Saber actually has to just guard, and that's actually a lot trickier. Don't fucking tell me that Saber actually has a much harder time in this part. Not chapter 5, but maybe later. Compared to Caster. Caster actually has an easier time than Saber, because that would be the fucking... What's next? The first half of the game is a joke with Saber, but the second half is a nightmare. The opposite of what happens with Caster or something? I don't know. Wait. Well, whatever. The only thing more troubling than that stealth is the fact that I can do nothing about it. Saber evaded her opponent nicely, but the uncertainty of where the attacks would fall exhausted her. If not for the system limitations, would have been obliterated. The warning bell has rung. Lucky for you, I'll stop here. I would prefer to continue a more appropriate venue. Until then, build your strength for me. After expression... we must deal with the fact that his aura cannot be detected. Yeah. The arena level is 28. I know I'm gonna get at least 2 levels. I'll probably try to get at least level 29 and 30. Fuck. Fuck. I'll just stun it and get the fucking thing. No, Niffles aren't important. Niffles are more important if you go with caster. Fall asleep with it. Yeah. Alright, so they see. Ah, I healed her too quickly. This fight is actually harder with Saber than with Caster. Like, that's something that blows my mind. Is the Saber supposed to be the easy mode? Or was that only for the first half of the game? Julius Caesar salad, man. So the Caesar server changes the route too? No. What I'm wondering is if the Chapter 7 fight changes. Because remember that Shuwen turns into a berserker in the ring route. But because he grabs Rani's arms into one of his arms, which is fucked up and sick. But I get the feeling. I hope they actually show off a Lancer Shuwen, because that would be interesting. But I get the feeling they're gonna just show off a Berserker Shuwen. Yeah, that's that. That would suck. Oh! Oh! You can't escape these fights. It's amazing. Fuck! Oh my god! Fucking sound spam! What's a sound spam? Staff of Fortitude! Oh my god, are you telling me that the Staff of Fortune wasn't something they invented for CCC? It was in extra all along. So if you do explore a bit, the game starts to become a joke with Castor around this part, because Castor gets the Staff of Fortitude, which will also make the next fight a joke. Why the fuck couldn't they explain how the fuck this fucking thing works? They explain it in CCC. Oh my god, if I knew about this, I could have just stunned the guy. This anime spell made me want to fucking rip my head out, because it would have made my Castle playthrough so much easier. Because I would be able to take the ridiculous buffs Berserker had, I would be able to use the Staff of Fortitude. So that would have made this section way fucking easier. Oh god, I just want to fucking puke in anger. Because this isn't that useful for let me try it. Fuck. Oh, Siski too. Nah, okay, so for Saber it may not be as useful because she wastes a lot of magic. But for Castor, the Staff of Fortune would be phenomenal. It would basically make this entire section a joke, because you can just spam magic like crazy. You're telling me that... Oh my god. I'm not even gonna comment on it, I feel stupid. So this is how democracy dies, with skill. Thunderous applause! It just drives me insane. It's just... now I get what... So if you get that with Castor, you get at least the imp spell. It drives me insane, because it means that if I had a save of Chapter 5, I could have just basically done everything way easier. Because you have the Staff of Fortitude, which makes writing a joke. Because you can just spam spells like a motherfucker with Castor. But like I said, that's not to say that this doesn't help Saber. It does. She has Thunderous Applause, which is great. But Castor has a fuck ton more spells. She has spells that allow her to stun lock enemies up to the brim. And you have the Chaos 7 spell, which affects even enemies that are blocking or not, and it does okay damage. Which, if you upgrade the magic a lot, then it does great damage, and you don't have to worry about a fucking thing. Just spam Chaos 7. That's it. That's all you have to do. grind a bit, have enough magic, buy magic fragments, convert them, and so on. So basically, the game turns into a joke with Castro, in theory, with this part. Whereas it was a pain in the ass for me, with Castro, if we get the Staff of Fortitude, the game becomes a complete joke. 2 chapters earlier. Now, it also will make the Berserker fight significantly easier because you have a way of recuperating magic. So, I wouldn't say a complete joke because with Berserker at least, this only gives you magic for two spells. So I won't go so far to say that, but it does make the grinding, which to be fair, I think it was already much easier in Chapter 6, like significantly easier, even easier. You still have to do the entire grinding, which is a fucking snooze fest, but yeah. So note to self, when play caster, get the stuff. Yeah. But now I'm looking at this like, are you fucking serious? There was a Staff of Fortitude there. I can't blame the game for, oh, you tell me because, again, it's stuff you have to explore with the Nephilim type. It's just that with caster, you won't do anything with that. Because caster dies so quick. If the shockwave, if they explain how the fucking shockwave work, or it wouldn't have been a problem. Because you assume it's a code cast, but it doesn't show up, and you have to press X, and there's nothing in the game telling you to. I don't think the manual tells you to. CCC actually does explain it, which to me it screams they probably had people complain, how the fuck do I use this? Because your first instinct is use code cast, but there's nothing there. It turns out, no, you just have to press the action button, which actually is kind of annoying. It's easy to execute by accident, which happens to me. But like, are you fucking serious? That's all I had to do. Staff of Rebuke is way better still for fights. But honestly, if you can apply that to the Assassin fight, because the Assassin fight is way easier, you can just ban spells, you could probably keep that elixir there. If you can keep the elixir for the Assassin fight, and the one you get from Dungeon 6, they have a... Yeah, the fight gets a lot easier because you have 2 elixirs, you have no phantasm, you have a way to debuff, you don't have to grind as much magic, and if you do want to grind a bit more magic just to be on the safe side, or already did your due diligence, fine, but it's annoying. It's like, I see what the game is trying to do, it's just... The one thing I'll say is this, Sarah's supposed to be the easy mode, she only felt like that in the first half of the game. Now she just feels like, how can I put it? She feels like, well, not hard mode, I wouldn't say hard mode, no way in hell. But she does, I guess I could say she feels easier in the sense that her playstyle is just whack people in the head real hard with a fucking sword. Her playstyle doesn't fundamentally change. Whereas caster is supposed to start using spells here. What I don't get is why they couldn't sell the Staff of Fortitude instead. You know what? I now realize why the imp spell and the Staff of Fortitude are actually sold instead of found in CCC. Because they probably had people who didn't find these. Because it always struck me that those can be, well, Staff of Rebuke and, or whatever the fuck we pronounce it, the malicious garments or maleficious garments are instead found. And now I get why. Because they probably had people missing them. So they just said, okay, fuck it, we're not gonna take any chances, just have people buy them. And it just makes me wonder, why the fuck not sell them instead? I don't know. It's frustrating because now that you know this, going back to X-Ray is a lot less frustrating. But it's like, oh man. I apologize, Breaker. It is my fault we fell behind retrieving the cipher keys. You still would have grind to a nightmare for chapter 6. Don't get me wrong. I get that fight is still easier, but it's like. So whether chapter 5 becomes a joke or a nightmare, all hinges on where you find the Staff of Fortitude or not for Caster. If you find the Staff of Fortitude for Caster, the chapter becomes a joke. If you know, hey, chapter 6 is gonna have a really hard boss fight or whatever, you know to prepare yourself beforehand, then this is the point where actually the game starts to become significantly easier for Caster, whereas with chapter 4 being the last hard one, and exactly. What's more frustrating, you can go back to the Staff with a prior save. The game does tell you to keep multiple saves, but the thing about that, the annoying thing about that, I'm gonna kill some of the bees in the meantime. Mystic do open space. Yeah, well, is that it tells you to make multiple saves because there's dead ends and everything. And I thought, oh, like a VN where you have like stat points or reputation points. But no, that's not the reason it's telling you that. It's because of making the progress a lot harder. But it's like, you know, everything would have been solved if or at least would have been much more forgivable in chapter 6 if there was just no anti-grinding. It's the one fucking chapter that should have not had any anti-grinding. The chapter actually deceives you to think it's going to be significantly easier, but no. The boss is way harder. The actual chapter itself is significantly easier as well. I don't know. Yeah, there's. I think I'm gonna go. Also, consider that if you upgrade during the chapter, the caster, um, you can get magic when you defeat one of them in a fight. Um, that's one of the Tamamo's skills, which again, chapter 5 is when Tamamo is supposed to be able to start getting back magic. And that, effectively, that's the point where if you know what you're doing, the game becomes a joke. The only tricky part, apart from that, would be again the chapter 6 boss fight. But if you already know what's coming ahead, it's more of a question of just grinding, which is more a question of endurance and less a question of skill. If you didn't fuck around with getting magic points too much, then you don't have to upgrade as much. It's just forget it. Seems that one of that servant's tricks to get a great accomplishment. The only tricky part, gas time 20. Now, if we can only see nave period, that is the rub. Tip the scale. Wait, what? To tip the scales in our favor, we need to do something about that Praetor. This will serve it, huh? I still don't understand why Chapter 5's boss is way easier than the sixth one. It makes no sense. Than the episode 5. That is something that makes absolutely no sense. And honestly, one thing I'm a little disappointed that so far it seems like there's no fucking difference. It doesn't seem to be as much difference with the Rani Green route as I hoped. It feels very similar, which is kind of disappointing to be honest. I was expecting a bit more. Good day, future. How is Saber's condition currently? I guess my servant is getting enough magic for now, so no problem there. However, Mallory considers that Saber's sword failed if it touched Julie's servant. You look decidedly unwell. I think things did not go as you had hoped. I guess my disappointment is easily read in my expression as Rani gives me an apologetic look. No, that's not it. Not exactly, anyway. Even give it the chance, if I can't see Julie's servant, I'm pretty much helpless at this point. So he's hidden from your sight. If that's the case, it'd be safe to assume that your enemy's servant is an assassin. I can't say for sure, but he stays completely hidden and only attacks from the shadow. At the very least, not being able to see him will make it impossible for my servant to attack him. I see your point. An enemy who can become invisible would be a real threat to Saber. Without knowing his true identity, creating an effective strategy will be very difficult. There might be a few ways he can be hidden, such as camouflage or by means of a spell. However, as a heroic spirit, he may have access to something unique and unknown. Until we confirm which of the three possibilities is the right one, we can hope to do nothing. So for now, we should concentrate on finding out how he manages to conceal his presence. Rani suddenly emerges from her meditation with a serious look in her face. Her look couldn't be caused by thoughts of Julius. I can see pity and puzzlement in her eyes. Is she thinking about me? Did something happen? As I start to ask her what just happened, she takes a deep breath and looks straight at me. Yes, no. It was nothing in particular. There is only you. I wish to stay silent, but I feel that I shouldn't keep secrets from you. This is what I've learned. Future, I told you before that I cannot find a link to your body. There is nothing on the other end of the link. You've never had memories of any kind. For once I understood what her words meant the instant she spoke them. I'm truly sorry. I wanted to think your link was just broken, but it's different than that. Not a single record of your memories prior to the Holy Grail War exists. I could find nothing. There is no connection to your body as you do not have a physical form. You were not born human. I see. No words come to mind. Honestly, I'm not so surprised. I suspected as much already. More so than myself, I feel more for this girl and the kindness she's shown me. The NPCs here are recreations of actual people that the moon so has recorded in its memory. You must have existed once, and you may have been made a master to do a glitch in the system. You could also be a cyber ghost, the imprint of a soul of one who has died while online. In either case, your existence is undefinable. Also, it cannot be said that you are truly alive. While I nod in solid understanding, I steel myself to ask the obvious question: why? Regardless of what I am, I had a feeling this moment of revelation would come. I now know why my memory won't return. At least I finally met you now makes sense to me. This body, this mind, is not human. I am just a remnant of real life, a packet of data, a collection of ones and zeros. Fisher, this is something you cannot escape, as you have no place to escape to. Even if you were to win the Holy Grail in a single wish, you cannot ever leave the Seraph. Unfortunately, existence is inexorably tied to the Seraph. Because of this truth, if your reason for fighting was to avoid death, you must let it go now. You no longer have to concern yourself with wounds received in battle. I know it's hard, but if you don't accept the truth, your suffering... Sorry. Your suffering will only be intensified. Pardon my directness, but I must execute this now. Knowing that you're merely data, do you still have a reason to win the Holy Grail War? I really don't want to die. If this is the only place where I am allowed to live, I can't allow it to remain as it is. I do not want this world to be a place where the only way to survive is to kill. If I win, the Holy Grail War will come to an end. I'm responsible for the deaths of Shinji, Dan, Alice, and the Zealot. The system would not allow us to coexist. I like how he's not even called Gato, just Zealot. I think future Zealot to this chapter. Oh, remember iRobot, the 2004 Will Smith film where he's like, actually, sorry, I'm allergic to bullshit. That is the best part about that film. If that is the case, if it's the system that demands all these senseless deaths, then I will use the Holy Grail to change the system itself. Use the Holy Grail to reshape the world. I am surprised, but for some reason I find myself moved. If that is what you desire, please allow me to help you achieve your goal. Look at me when I speak to you, Master. Why are you so worried about such a thing? Sabers only appears maybe as she chastises me. I can hear a note of concern in her voice. Look at my circumstances. I am from a time so far in the past that only myths and lies remain. Why am I here now? I live because I do. That I exist is all that matters. Yes, I exist, therefore I am. If that is enough for me, shouldn't it be enough for you? In the end, life is nothing more than memories. Even those who live are defined by their experiences. Not just me, but all things will one day disappear. But does that make any life pointless? The whole of history is written in the stars, and one day we will all be as one beyond the sky. The star that controls all of this. It uses the living to dream of what it can never be. Wow, that was surprisingly profound. That was surprisingly profound. I would need to compare this with the Castro, but wow, that actually was pretty fucking good. The fuck? She's really trying to comfort me, at least I think she is. Isn't she? I have no idea how to respond, so I try to flash her a winning smile and hope that it doesn't come across as a sardonic smirk. What was that? It might have been nothing, but it seemed like Rani had a really odd expression on her face. There is nothing wrong per se, it's just you were so noble sounding and... Anyway, do you have an answer to my question? Even if we continue fighting in the future, the odds of you being reported like the others are low. Knowing this, we will fight the Black Scorpion. We will fight to the end as a master. Of course. While I still have lingering doubts, this is the one thing I state with absolute confidence. I have been a fool. It appears that this conversation was unnecessary. Future, I see a new star in the heavens, with you as its sole focus. My journey is finally... No, that is irrelevant. I will say nothing more about it. From here on, let us focus on your upcoming fight as warriors planning for victory. I know in agreement and silently thank Rani for the compassion she has shown me. I'm sure she wanted to say that running was okay, but that there is no reason to continue fighting. But giving up would be wrong. Now I must win the Holy Grail War in order to shape the future. Now that you're committed, let's shake up things a little. Shake things up? What is she planning to do? Yes, shake things up. I will create three different kinds of magic kilns. One will react to metallic... Oh, it's the same shit as Brain, seriously! Really? It's the same placement, seriously, come on! Really? Come on! Are you fucking serious? I will want the Holy Grail to shape the future. Guy named Future Time. You know, even Hakuna after my user might have been one of the most unintentionally hilarious fucking things I've ever done. But yeah, I'm really disappointed. Is this seriously gonna be the exact same? It's just for like a couple of differences? But was Chapter 4 like the only one that had any difference, even though it was just the boss fight? Seriously? That's it? What's the fucking point of playing the Rani route then? If you play one route, you're done. But Rani doesn't seem to be explored all that much, but maybe the next chapter changes. I'm really disappointed. I'm really disappointed. I expected... Okay, maybe not something totally different. I wasn't that naive. But I was expecting something. Oh, she started to fall in love with him. Yeah, it really makes you wonder, what's the point of two routes? Like, okay, I can understand that this is gonna be like staying where the routes split early, they're completely different. I can understand that, it wouldn't even have been economically feasible. But like, they're so similar. What's the point? Would it have all the time that they spend splitting routes, would it have made more sense to just have one route? I just make that one route really good. We still have now to play CCC, the CCC route. I'm guessing that they're gonna do a better job with that, but it just makes me wonder, what's the fucking point? I was like, hey, this route is way better. Nope, never mind. It's still disappointing. The game still goes off a cliff at this point. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, she's kind of cute there. But honestly, I think I just like Caster more, even in terms of the playstyle, because Caster has a neat evolution. It's just that CCC is more... It teaches you much more naturally that evolution of a character, because Caster's game plan is that at this point, now with Staff of Fortune, we can confirm. To be fair, I think even when I play spells, is to start using more spells. She starts to stop using physical attacks in favor of magic. That's the idea behind that. With Saber, her game plan still seems to be just hit people real hard. You have the Staff of Fortune use, she has spells that still helps, but her spells are a lot more limited. It's just a dash attack, which is pretty good. Hi, P2 says. And the Thunderous Applause one, which is really good but consumes a lot of magic. It just doesn't seem like there's... I don't know, I'm just frustrated. Let's see if Rani says something. Rain stuff. I'm really disappointed. Also, playing Fate Extra again and the first part really starts to show more of the cracks. Not necessarily in terms of the writing, those were obvious even on the first go, but more so in the gameplay, how it feels clunky to play at times. It really needs to be said, CCC is so much better. I get the feeling that even with Saber it would be much better because of how fast fights go. They feel smoother because, you know, doing multiple breaks or multiple guard attacks, they have different attacks. In particular, guarding an attack is super fast in CCC, whereas in Extra it's very slow because it really wants to show you the impact of the attack. Yeah, I know I've said it a billion times, but the more I play Extra, the more I miss The more I miss. The more I miss, it really makes me wish I no. It's just frustrating. I see the hints of what could have been a really great RPG here, because I see the hints of it. It's just... Yeah, with the magic crystals, now it all clicks. Now it all makes sense. Oh my god. I don't know if I feel stupid, it's just... No. I might get to level 30. I don't think 31, 32 is necessary. Jesus. Raise your fucking voice, Rani. I can't fucking listen to you. Point 1, 2. Yeah, it's the same fucking points. It's literally the exact same fucking points. Are you shitting me? It's literally the same. I wouldn't be surprised if the dialogue is the fucking same. The fucking... holy shit, I really need to say it. CCC is so much better. The game really falls into a cliff after this. It pisses me off because it was happening again. It's still fun, despite the cracks I saw in the first half. But it just pisses me off. This could have been a great game. I see so much potential here. Look at this fucking environment. Look at how fucking gorgeous this is. Well, whatever. There's no issues getting disappointed. No, I think it's just... It literally the exact same. Even the color... You know, I hope that with the extra remake, they actually do something to different the routes more. Oh, fuck you. Also, you know what? One thing that also pisses me off about Extra that I just realized is that CCC has like these little bottles of like the magic. Like one bottle gives you like 30 points, another gives you 60. But they're actually quite expensive for the easy game that CCC is. They're actually hard to obtain. And Extra has no equivalent of that. The more I play this, I'm like, wow, CCC was such a better game. Everyone talks about how much better CCC looks, how much better the writing is in CCC, but nobody really talks about how much better the gameplay is. Like at worst, the gameplay in CCC is okay, passable, competent, or decent. Whereas at worst, the gameplay in Extra can be really frustrating and tedious because of bullshit. Because I think like Extra really focus on challenge first over actually being fun, whereas CCC is the reverse. CCC is all about the player having a fun time first. I don't know. Yeah, once I'm done with this, I don't want to go back to Extra. Extra just disappointed me. If I can describe CCC as unhinged, but a massive improvement, Extra is just disappointing. This started off as a great game. This could have been so much better. He savors reincarnation. Okay, Rin commented that this one was the one that she thought was going to be the most likely. No, okay, she doesn't make that comment. Okay, so she isn't exactly like that. There's subtle differences in the dialogue, at least. That's something, I guess. I have to praise the fuck. I have to praise. I have to praise the fuck. Yeah, honestly, you know what? I now I started to agree with the Metacritic. The Metacritic for this game is like a 58. This is definitely a 6 out of 10 game. It's the 6 out of 10 shouldn't be. This game should have been an 8. This had so much fucking potential. This has so much fucking potential. I'm getting really angry. No, sorry for the skimming voice actor. I'm just too bummed. I'm sorry, I'm just so bummed about this. I'm gonna try to get it to level 30. Assassin is pretty fucking easy anyways. Assassin really doesn't require much of anything. So it's just go get back and just fucking kill enemies. It's one of the same points, like I said. It just disappoints me. It just disappoints me. When I say something, I literally can't come up with anything. I'm just so bummed. I have literally nothing to say. Yeah, I think I'm gonna upgrade strength and magic after this. Defense I have on a pretty good level, so I think I'm gonna upgrade strength and magic. And the next dungeon just strength, strength, defense, and magic, I guess. Okay, this is broken as fuck. I get it. If you know how, if you have a Staff of Fortitude with Caster, by this point she gets Bestial Sky, if I recall correctly. If you have magic at a really high point at this point, you can basically do like, use Shockwave, stun the enemy, charge up the attack, second attack, the enemy dies. Because because Shockwave allows you to hit 2 times. Well, because the game doesn't tell you how the fuck to use the Shockwave, so it's just like, okay, how do I use this? And I discover it by accident. It seems funny, but given that CCC actually adds explanation, use the X button, and this doesn't tell you, it's like, it just blows my mind. It's like they had to have complaints because so many of the little changes, like, you know how when you give magic to Saber or give her or use the with the code cast, you notice how in this game it's instant but it doesn't freeze anything, but in CCC it actually stops time. Because I get the feeling that somebody complain, hey, wait a second, why can you give items to your servant and it stops everything, but if you use a code cast, it doesn't stop anything, especially if you're trying to heal quickly before an enemy attacks you. Like, it doesn't seem like it, but there's so many like little quality of life changes in CCC that go such a long way to making the game a lot more fun. Yeah, CCC's gameplay is underrated. I'm gonna say this right now. CCC's gameplay is underrated. There's so much little shit they changed that it just improved things massively. If I knew about Shockwave, this entire section would have been so much easier with Caster. I think I know what's the problem with Extra in general. Extra wants you to play in a certain way when the game wants you. The problem is that if you don't play in the way the game wants you, you die. Even with Saber. The problem is that way can be really unintuitive. And the game is extremely punishing for it. It's not like, okay, you get a retry battle. It's not like, okay, maybe that's a little too much, but it's not like this. So you end up getting butt flocked. The CCC encourages you to experiment as much as you want. Extra doesn't. That's something I've noticed about the design about both games. This approach works a lot better with Caster than with Saber, because with Caster it's just 30 magic points to upgrade, I mean to charm, and 30 to launch an attack. Whereas with Saber it's like 60 with both. I wonder how Archer is. I mean, I'm pretty sure he benefits a lot. He's the middle point of both characters. But honestly, with Saber, it really feels like it really feels like with Saber, it's like it's the first half of the game that's much easier with her, whereas because she starts off with way better stats, and her general playstyle is easier to grasp. Whereas with Caster, the trick is that you need to know how to upgrade your stats, which fucks you up because it's going to subject you to grinding a lot later. And also, the first half of the game, you can't use magic. But after that point, if you find your stuff correctly, the game just becomes a lot easier. See, yeah. much until I get the next one? Okay, the next one I kill should get me to level 28. Once I get to level 28, I'm gonna leave. What I want to do is try to find the other, the other mystical you can find in this chapter, the maleficious garments. Oh man. Rani and Saber's words have touched me. They filled my empty cup of water, so to speak. I have no way of knowing the water is pure at this point. Even so, I can see where I need to go from here. You have more resolve to your countenance. Have you found the answer you've been looking for? I don't know, but I'm okay now. Thanks to my friends and allies. I thought I was alone, but that couldn't have been more wrong. I have Rani and Saber to lean on. I know they both want my inner resolve to well up on its own. Just knowing that, I feel like my cup overflows, although it's up to me to make sure the water is pure. One thing they've taught me is that I shouldn't be ashamed, even if I'm empty now. Saber gently smiles as I explain my heartfelt sentiments. Alright, now I'm ready to fight. My next opponent is Julius, who's been an obstacle from the start. By the time I defeat him, I should be able to accept what I am. Honestly, I think I also like Castor for another reason, Arkham. Castor has a lot more unique conversations when you go to talk to a room. They're important to unlocking the upgradable skill. But they just aren't more memorable. Saber isn't bad, but she's just kind of there. It's just like, she's okay. I just don't have anything else to say about her. She's okay. Castor just left a much bigger impression on me. And I wonder how Saber is in CCC. I get the feeling that she's probably not that memorable there. But maybe I'm wrong. The writing's a lot better than CCC in general. Castor fits in CCC so well because the entire game is so fucking unhinged that Castor's comments are just perfect. She has the perfect comment for almost every situation. At this point, the game basically becomes just pure gameplay. It's just... there is a bit of story, but that's it. Yeah, I'm not gonna do Saber with CCC because I have no I have no desire to be honest. Generally, no real desire. She does get a little flush, which is memorable. There is more of an evolution of the character compared to Caster. Caster starts already wanting to fuck you as early as chapter 2. And Hakuna also shows interest in her, but compared to Hakuna seeing her, Saber more melancholic, whereas here it's like, whereas with Caster it's like, there's more of a back and forth, and. Oh man, this could have been so much more. Oh, I forgot. Congratulations to successfully playing the Magic Kills. However, it will all be for naught if he doesn't enter the area. For that, I have a plan. A plan? As I look into Rani's now serious visage, I can only wonder what she's going to propose. Please enter the arena early and try to ambush them as they approach even the Kills. Once you're inside, I will drive the Scorpion into the arena after you. Rani will be doing that alone without a servant? Man, this fate who could have been extra. I would say that Saber is boring here, it's just more like she's okay. The problem is that the servants aren't the focus here, so they don't really have much development. I doubt Archer is different, but Archer has the fact that he has the backstory of Stay Night to build off of. So if you read that, then you know that you have something to work off, which is cheating, but still. He has something to work off, in theory. And Caster leaves an impression because she's so weird and goofy. You just can't help but smile at her goofiness. She's one-dimensional, but she's fun. You want to know more about her. With Saber, I can see why someone would find her funny. I do like how she just wants to kill. she and just they call her princess, and she just gets so offended. That's funny. But how she's actually starting to fall in love with Hakuna, but she doesn't want to show it. That's adorable. But I don't know, I just like Caster. Caster's easygoing attitude and everything really contrasted with all the shit that goes on. And it was really nice. What I will say is that Saber encouraging Hakuna was really good. That was the best scene with Saber. That really surprised me. That was a really, really good speech. But I just felt like Caster had more unique conversations. Saber just... In the early part, if you go try to talk to Saber, he just tells you, I don't feel like talking. And that's it. That's all you get. There is more of a progression in terms of her character compared to Caster. Caster goes from wanting to fuck you to wanting to really fuck you, and then to wanting to really, really fuck you. That's the drawback with Caster. But with Caster, she's just more memorable in what she says. Whereas with Saber, it's just, you have an actual character arc, but she's still a fairly simple character, which is not necessarily a problem, but whatever. Again, I think the problem is because this is trying to juggle being a game as opposed to CCC where it's trying to be a story-heavy RPG, whereas this is a gameplay-heavy RPG. Because I swear to God, if I were to look up the cutscenes, how much they last in like chapter 3 and so, I get the feeling. I thought it was like each chapter takes like an hour in terms of the story. No, they don't. I think that if you were to skip the cutscenes or you were to read the cutscenes, it wouldn't take anywhere from like 15 minutes to 30 minutes. There's almost no story there. Whereas with CCC, it's like several hours worth of cutscenes. It's like it's not an exaggeration that every chapter is at least 2 to 3 hours long in terms of the story. There's just a lot of story in CCC. Whereas with and we haven't even got into the CCC route yet. Whereas in Extra it's just super short, and now the game is going to get even shorter. The next chapter doesn't have much in terms of the story either. The epilogue is the one exception, but the epilogue is fucking terrible. So it's whatever. I'm sorry. I'll shut up now. I'm bitching too much, but it's amazing. I was having fun with the first half. I get here, it's like, oh man, this is why this game is. I wouldn't say this game sucks, but this game is disappointing. I just remember. Maybe the next chapter will be better with Rani. We'll see. Hopefully. I don't fucking know. That would be incredibly dangerous. She might be killed in the attempt. I cannot allow her to risk her life for such a mad plan. I understand the danger involved. We only get one chance to do this, so we must not fail. Do not worry about me. Be assured that we'll make our plan succeed. However, none of this will matter if Rani is murdered by Julius. As my voice gains heat, Rani looks away as if surprised and embarrassed by my vehemence. I see. I see my professor was right. When though I'm not, though I am but a totally used creature, I feel strange. My heart feels as if... Without thinking, I take the flustered Rani into my arms. She feels fragile in my embrace. What? Rani isn't a tool to be used. As someone who has saved my life, that she is a precious friend. This I think works a lot better than we ran. I don't know. I've said this before, but it needs to be said again. That is why I'm so worried about Rani risking her life to help me. Even if it was an opponent, Julius is one who would kill anyone who was doing his way. Finally, I think I understand. This is what they mean by a soul. But it still feels like it could have more development. Thank you, Fisher. However, now more than ever, I feel I have to do this. You know what's my problem, I think, with the Ring Rani split, excuse me, is that it feels like it should have been, like, much earlier to allow them to develop. It was a big fuck up to have it in the middle of the game. So do not worry about me. I will not fall so easily. Concentrate on exposing the Scorpion. Scorpion! Get over here! Yeah, I'm sorry. I won't make any bad Mortal Kombat jokes anymore. I can see her determination in her eyes. The Scorpion. Oh my god. That was a game that's fucking boring. It's funny seeing all like the action figure type combat, but goddamn, that game is you walk in the room, you mash buttons. You walk into a room, you mash buttons, and there's some fucking archer that you can't catch. That game is so fucking repetitive. Holy shit. I can see her determination in her eyes. I have no choice but to match her strength. This plan will succeed regardless of what may happen. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna do two more levels, and then I don't know. I'm still worried about the chapter 6 fight. This time I'm going fully fucking armed. So I don't fucking know. Ranking I thought it was on the 90. I thought it was like 91. Let me say it's 100 then. Yeah, I definitely need two more. Because then I can get Fount of Chronos. I wonder what Fount of Chronos is. The name suggests that Fount is like some sort of buff. Oh, by the way, Arkham, did you ever see the Scorpion King film? I don't know if I asked you this before. Yeah, I did as early as a kid. Yeah, I think rank A then must be when you get to 100 then. So I didn't spoil myself that when I used the cheats that time. Okay, so if I do the if I do the if I do caster that fight again, I'll just use that save then, because I'll just instead upgrade defense and magic to like 94 or something. We'll see. We'll see. He wrote it. He didn't direct it. David Hayter also wrote the script for X-Men, the original X-Men film. He co-wrote the script for the second X-Men film. He had nothing to do with X-Men 3. I want to say he did a draft at one point and they didn't accept it or something, or he was not involved in any of the other X-Men films. There's another film he made that was pretty popular. I don't remember, but the first two X-Men films and Scorpion King, those were the films he was involved with. Which actually surprised me that he actually made two really good scripts and while also voice acting as Snake. I'm actually really surprised. I believe he directed a film, a horror film called Wolves, which I heard was kind of but still, he's a director, he's a scriptwriter. I can't really fault the man. He's a creative through and through. That's something to always respect. Unless you're like the Seltzerberg duo. Oh, I wanted to comment on something. A couple of weeks ago, I was a little drunk and I saw what's the fucking film? A disaster movie on YouTube. Starring Sniper Wolf, I hope. Nah, unfortunately not. I'm not even gonna lie. That fucking film. I've never felt so apathetic about a film before. It's like, if you ask me, what is disaster movie about, Future? I could not answer the question because it's like nothing happens in the film, or at least nothing of importance, and not in a good, clever way. No. It's just I don't think I've ever felt this apathetic about a film ever before. I've seen bits and this and that about the film, but I'm gonna change to this because I'm gonna need this. How many different crystals do I have? Oh, that's not bad. Or I could also go to commissary. By 3. You know what's the big problem I have with extra at this part, and I realize, is that the game basically expects you to bullshit it with cheap tactics. In chapter 3 and 4, particularly 4, you have an edge with some of these stuff, but the idea is still, okay, memorize the patterns. The whole mystic code everything is just to get an edge. In this chapter, it's like the game basically expects you, even with Saber, to act with bullshit. It doesn't matter the characters, you have to act with bullshit. And it just goes against the game's much more well-crafted first half, because it just becomes about bullshit. That's my big problem with in the end with this game. It's just like, what's the fucking point, man? Anyways, I'm gonna stop bitching about the game. I just want to get this game over with. Master, do not fret. We prepare as best as we can. Now all we can do is wait for the enemy. You put a lot of effort into these traps. Do not let your impatience overcome you. Alright. So I am the arena level. I'm gonna try getting 2 more levels. I should be fine after that. What I'm gonna upgrade is, I think I'm gonna spend 6 points into strength and 6 into magic. Should I spend it into magic to see if that increases damage? You know what? I fucking forgot to save before going in. Well, at least I put a save at the start of the day. Never mind. Let me reload. This isn't a big problem, anyways. It just. This doesn't take me any long, anyways. Oh, I don't recall reading this. The Harway family leads a Western European plutocracy. It is a corporation with numerous subsidiaries that control many nations and has its own army. About 30% of the world's land and 60% of the world's wealth, based on GDP, belongs to the Harways. The Harways distribute the world's resources and wealth equally among nations. That's their policy. That policy rubs certain groups the wrong way, and those groups retaliate with terrorist acts. Oh, look who has returned. Hi. Let's see you next time. Of course it will, and of course we can do it. So long as the rule is perfect, the government will be fair and just. But what must you think of those who reject the Harway's ideas? Well, it is true that a little Western European plutocracy is perfect for a moment. Selfish, perverse individuals do reside within our hierarchy. Green Tosaka's displeasure is founded. But once I become head, I will eradicate those cancers and usher in a new era of human history. A bold claim. Okay, so I thought it was a criticism about fascism, but I think it's a criticism about communism now at this point. He spoke without trepidation and without attachment to the current era that he plans to discard. Now that I've given you a taste of my utopia, I must be off. Please use your remaining time wisely. Well, that was dark. Oh wait, I have to talk to Rani. I forgot. I need to talk to Rani before I can leave. One thing I'll say about X-Ray that's fantastic. The soundtrack, it needs to be stated. The soundtrack is fantastic. I have no complaints about the soundtrack. Maybe that there could be more music tracks, and that's it. That's my only real complaint. And the second half, the first floor dungeon theme of the second half of the game, that sucks. And that's it. Those are like my only real complaints about the music as a whole. I like the soundtrack. Okay. I'm gonna upgrade this to 6 because I wanna see if it does more damage. Because I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna try to upgrade this. JC, the Mexican doctor. I asked him about Fate X at one point, and he told me he thought the Xtella games were much more fun in terms of the actual gameplay. I'm hoping Xtella turns out to be like this, on way better than the script that people give it credit for. And it's actually a little great game, like a hidden gem. I don't know. I'm afraid that I'll have a blast with clearing the rest of CCC, and then I go to Xtella and be like, oh, it sucks or something. I mean, I don't expect it to be as good writing-wise as CCC, but I expect it to at least be, in terms of the whole package, at least a fun game. Fuck. Thunderous applause. How's this? 730. Okay. I'm gonna try. Okay. Let's... Alright, man. Thanks for stopping by. I don't know if it increased damage much. You know what? I'm not gonna spend any points. I'm just gonna I'll get another 6 points and then just wait. How low a homunculus with the Atlas is your Mahton and Regrave and Neptune? Okay. Alright, so it's a little bit different. The Scorpio has just entered the arena. I leave the rest up to your future. Rani. Pull yourself together, fool. Rani did what she had to. Our turn will come. Oh, she's a bit of an ass here, Saber. I've got to calm down. Rani for. There's particularly trapped in us. Oh, that's nice. I think Thunderous Applause does more damage regardless of where you release strength or magic. So if I increase both strength and magic, it's just going to do a lot more damage. And increasing magic also reduces damage I get from magic. So yeah, it's worth it to increase in both. This is the third and final trap. The anti-spirit trap. So you somehow control the flow of your energy with martial arts to pursue your presence. However, if we are to cross blades, sir, but at least extend the courtesy of telling me your class. I must respect the fact I have decided to fight rather than flee. Very well, my class is assassin. Once again, I command you to defeat my concealment. No other reported mass managed to prepare that before now. And despite my class, I will never say that any life is worthless. If I am the Suzuki a target... An assassin who attacks only from the shadows will dare attack an emperor such as I, a poor jest. Your skills are now useless. Your final curtain draws near, assassin. to hide your true powers, servant of the sword. This cannot be the full extent of your powers. Do you expect too much of you? This is your full. Have you defeated us? Oh my god. Yes, yes. Hello, I'm glad things went for you. There's no one here. I don't have to read. Okay, so this is the same conversation as the ring route.
もやここまでの式っぷりとは完璧主義にも程がある。世は嬉しいが同時にちと不安になるぞ。何かよからぬ電波でも受信してはおるまいな。予想だにしていなかったが仕方がない。そなたほどの戦上手には確かな行為で報いねばな。受け取るがよい。世の気持ちだ。つまらぬものしか用意できなかったがそれで今は満足せよ。
Oh, she gives you an elixir. That's pretty useful. I don't think Caster ever did that. Alright, I think I'm gonna quit now. I'll be back tomorrow. This was a short stream, but we're pretty close to finishing Chapter 5, and we're pretty close to finishing Fey Extra. So anyways, thanks for stopping by, guys, and see you next time.